See, heavy in it. Hello
There we
and
go.
welcome to the third episode of Sound of the River podcast. I'm Paul Connor, your host. I'm here with Bliss Band today. I've got the whole fame on. I thought I was only gonna have Tom, but I've got Thomas Cribb, I've got Charlie Anderson, and I've got Mason. I've got the full lineup. Actually, no, we're missing Matty, aren't we? But he's standing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He's like
He's
a
session at the
session
minute.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the full band anyways. How are we, the firm?
Great, how are
Yeah,
you?
good. Great.
Yeah,
Paul.
not bad. Not bad. Yeah, no, really happy to have such a promising band on the podcast today. Want to do some introductions, individual as a band?
Sure.
Go
Tom,
on.
do you want to start?
Yeah, okay, I'll start then. Yeah, so I'm Tom and I am the lead vocalist and guitarist for Bliss.
Flash dictator.
Not true.
Go ahead. I'll do it. I'm Mason. I'm the bassist for Bliss.
And I am Charlie, and I'm the drummer for Bliss. So
Lovely. Love it, boys. Formed in Lippert as well. Another
Yeah.
Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts band that I've interviewed. Definitely not because I go to Lippert as well, but I mean, we'll skip past that. Yeah, it's been busy for you, eh? You've had Sound City recently. Kerosene's come out. It's been all right,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
it's been good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had loads going on, haven't we?
We are doing bits, yeah.
Yeah. And
Lovely.
we've had some BBC introducing stuff. So
Yeah,
we've been
radio
played
today.
on the radio.
Which has been brilliant.
It's been really
Would you
good.
like to do like a little introduction? Just on yourselves as a band.
As a band, as in what we're about kind of thing.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
I'd say, we kind of we're all majorly inspired by the grunge scene, the 90s grunge, alternative rock kind of thing. A lot of our original material has kind of like rapped verses in, kind of like Chili Peppers, Rage Against the Machine, that kind of thing. And overall, we just try and make, the biggest sound we can with as little people as we can, and just make a big noise, really. That's it.
Perfect.
Try and be a bit out there as well, and do something a bit different, because I think you get a lot of bands of certain genres who just it's just like copy and paste stuff, and I think that's where we sort of want to differ, and we want to bring something new to the music scene, hopefully.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, do you know what? On that, let's go straight into Kerosene. New single
Go on.
out. What,
Yeah.
last week?
2 weeks ago, released on the 3rd of May, 24.
Oof.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the very interestingly named Kerosene after a flammable oil. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah,
I
that's
had to
pretty
look that
much.
up. I was sat there and I was like, kerosene, is that like an element or something like that? But I tell you what, very interesting song, but I do really like it. It is it's the absolute ethos of what I would imagine. Obviously, how you just described the band then, absolute ethos of what I'd imagine one of your songs to be, and obviously kerosene in my eyes is used. Like, I would listen. You had Breakdown as well, didn't you? That came out, little demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
very
That was
kind of-
that was when it was just me and Charlie, the days of just a two-piece.
Yeah, that was crazy. There was even some talk for like a short amount of time where we were just like, oh, maybe it would just be a two-piece, and then Tom instantly just went, yeah, that's a horrible idea.
I was like, I can't be doing all this heavy lifting. Guitar, bass,
Got like the
and
bass
vocals,
here,
that'll be-
the guitar here,
Yeah,
the
that's it,
vocals
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Just doing
that'll be
some
difficult,
like
but
David Byrne antics on stage with all your instruments.
it'd be like reverse Royal Blood. Instead of bass, it'd be guitar.
Jesus Christ. Oh,
Yeah.
what's that? But yeah, Kerosene, I really like it. I think it's, as I say, I've just kind of summed it up there anyways, but it's just what was the kind of the origin of the song? I think I've heard you play it. You've had it for a while, haven't you? I've heard you play it for
Yeah.
It sort of
Yeah,
just
it's-
came about really quickly, to be fair. It was like we just had like it was just one practice and Tom played that riff, and it was like the intro riff, and he was mocking Metallica, and he was saying like, oh yeah, every Metallica song, and then he plays this riff, and he's just like taking the piss or whatever. And I stopped him and I went, that's a really cool riff. And from there, it just sort of turned into like something bigger than we all thought it was gonna start as.
Yeah, and just putting out there, I love Metallica, so no hate. And it
Lars
was
is on you,
more of a what?
Lars is on you now, mate, for that.
That's it.
Bliss.
No, it's
Your cooks.
it was all it was all just a really, really fast thing, wasn't it? It was like Charlie said, that I played the riff and then he pointed out that it was cool. He went play that again, played it again, and then slowly just built up onto that, and that's how the instrumental side came across with the the really syncopated drums, especially in the heavier section, which is the riff that Charlie was talking about, and then it drops down into a really kind of chill held chord thing, then has that blues like building pattern into the chorus. And I think mainly the inspiration behind that was a lot of Alice in Chains, actually, for especially the chorus. And I remember we were trying to write lyrics for it, and Charlie literally just went, "Oh, I've got a cool line for it." He went, "Bloody hands, but the killer is unknown." And then I was like, "That's really cool. We'll keep that," And then I just went home, wrote the rest of the song, and that's it. Really, it was not really a structured thing. We didn't sit down and go, "We're going to write a song." It just kind of came about dead quick, and that's it. That was the song. Haven't really changed it since.
That's it, innit? Like, especially obviously as a songwriter myself, I find it so kind of, when you actually plan to sit down and do a song, it's so, I wouldn't say it's daunting, but
Forced,
when you, it's very forced, isn't it? Exactly.
It's a natural thing that just comes to you most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
guess.
like oh, sorry, go on.
No, go for it, mate. It's your podcast, not mine.
I feel
Mine,
like if you like try and like sit down and actively sort of try and come up with something for a song, it's harder. And I think you can have songs that sort of they build bit by bit, and you have an idea, and it takes ages for that idea to actually form into a song. And then you can have songs where you just have an idea off the bat and it just turns into a song into like 10 or 15 minutes. And those are always the best ones.
Yeah,
is.
That's what we've done with pretty much all our songs, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Apart from the odd few that kind of just like that, just sprung out of nowhere, and that was it.
How's it going down, like listener wise? I tried out having a little look on Spotify, but couldn't really see any data.
Yeah. So to be honest, really, really well. The reception's been like great straight off the bat. At the minute, I think possibly since the BBC introducing stuff, which we'll get onto in a minute, that ever since then we've had around, it's been every day, it varies obviously, but between 40 and 80 listeners a day, like new. Now I don't know if that's playlisting or if an algorithm's picked us up, but most of them are coming from daily mixes and the release radar, and we've literally nearly hit 1,000 streams on it in just under 2 weeks, or just over 2 weeks, I don't know, but yeah, we're absolutely made up with it. We've been working on it for ages, so.
Oh, it's a really well put together song. Really kind of, as I say, I know I've said it about 14 times, but like, it's like, it's very kind of like Bliss. The name it's like the name of Bliss is kind, like, I wouldn't say contradicting, because obviously I'd say when you think of Bliss, like if I made a band called Bliss, it'd probably be some like Kate Bush shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's interesting you bring that up, because literally that was the idea behind the name. It's a complete contradiction of the type of music we're making. So you've literally hit the nail on the head with that. That was why. That was why we called it Bliss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. Sorry, go on.
Sorry. We just wanted it to be like people hear the name Bliss and they think like some like pop band's gonna come on, and then it's
like
hyper
pop,
fucking hell.
You know what I mean? Come on, looking like Morrissey and all that, swinging flowers about. Oh,
So
do you know what? Do you know what though? I guess it's kind of like with the name Bliss as well. I guess I like. I mean, this is only my opinion. I don't know whether other people will. Maybe people think it's a kind of arrogant name. It's a very kind of it's a statement name. You know what I mean? I don't know whether that kind of whether you get any sort of backlash for that or it's just more of a
No, no, we've not had any backlash on it at all. It's that I mean that comes across
I
like
mean,
that.
I
Fair
don't
enough. It
agree with it, by the way.
wasn't the
I'm
intention.
not I'm not saying it like that.
No, no, I get it. And it's like, to be honest, until you mentioned it, I've not even thought about that. It was, like I said, the main reason was the contradiction of the music we're making. Kind of, Bliss is always, I think it's kind of, what would you say, Charlie? It's kind of meant like somewhere nice. Like Bliss is like
yeah,
somewhere nice. I always
like
imagine it as,
almost
and it's
like
like the music's a contradiction to that. I think.
I mean, you've got like Nirvana, which is like a similar thing, where it's like Nirvana's like some sort of heaven, I think. So, you've got this band who's got this really like holy name, and they're playing like grunge and like
Very scary.
scary
Unholy
stuff,
music.
unholy music.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But yeah,
that's sort of the idea.
yeah, it just yeah.
No, I'm right on that. Moving swiftly on. Everyone here, Liverpool people, Liverpool Institute Performing Arts, sixth form,
Yeah.
stuff of legends. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's where dreams are made and dreams have been made. Like bliss itself. If we're messing about with words, how's that experience been with you? I mean, I've had a ball, like me personally, and everybody else I've spoke to on this podcast has had a ball, like. But obviously, I guess it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's sometimes, but I mean, is it all here
I
today because of?
All the
yeah.
Liverpool.
Well, that's it.
It's been great, and it's like it's unlike anything else you probably could get, and it's brilliant that the city can give us opportunities like that, especially because of bands like the Beatles and all stuff like that. It's a very music oriented city, so obviously, where else are you going to get a music school like this? I think the school as a whole, it's got its issues, like, but for what it is, it's pretty bloody brilliant in it, really.
It's just for
And
me
even just like,
projects.
Yeah, you can't get that up on
Can I,
Instagram.
lads?
You've just slandered the college.
Nah, you're all
oh,
right.
every school's got its issues. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah, no, it's
still,
fine, lads. I'm
it's
taking
still
a piss.
brilliant. And even just for like the networking and stuff like that, meeting all these people who were like also dedicating their life to music and stuff, it's great, isn't it? Really, if not,
I
I think
think
it's go on.
I think like developing off of that, I just always think if I hadn't gone to Lipra, I wouldn't have met like these, which is like the main thing for me. It's like I'm in a band now where I love it, and I can do whatever, and like I can play like some wild shit and they won't care. And I wouldn't have that
See,
opportunity if I wasn't at Lipper,
it's
you
the
know?
absolute diversity of like, and you're all from like, it's not like you're all close together as well. Obviously, the idea of this podcast and the idea of the next couple podcasts is a kind of Sound of City aftermath. So I wanted to interview some musicians who have played Sound City and stuff like that, and just kind of get their take on the the International Music Festival, international music coming to Liverpool for a 3-day extravaganza, shall we say, and we're a part of that. You played on the Sunday afternoon at Heebie Jeebies. How was that? I mean, it's an honor, like it's
that's the best
definitely an
gig
honor.
really. I think it was anyway. Out of the ones I've done, I think I've done how many gigs with you? I've done about 6 gigs now, haven't I?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
76.
January being in the band now, but it's up to now. Yeah, it's knocked everything else out the park. Not even just like the actual crowd there as well, just spawned in out of nowhere. It was like, I remember Tom coming up to me about 2 minutes before, and he was like, "Oh, lads, if this looks like it's going to be dead here, so if not, we'll just go up and have a boss time." And then, like, literally 30 seconds before we started playing, everyone just spawned in out of nowhere, and it was mental.
Yeah.
It was
Literally, it was like, because there's this kind of rotating band thing where one band's playing here, one band's playing here. We were thinking, oh, Rainmaker have just been at Grand Central, and we were like, that probably everyone's going
They
to be
got
there. So
Rainmaker, Isaac Grover.
that's it, yeah. And we were like, there's probably not going to be many people here. So I said to the lad, let's just have a good time, even if there's no one here. As Mason said, we got on stage setting up. Literally, the whole place was just packed. Like it was mad. It was brilliant, and the crowd was like, dead interactive as well. They were,
Power
yeah,
of
they were
Sound
like
City, mate.
dancing, and it was amazing. It was really good. It's the best crowd we've performed to most lately. And yeah, really good reception from it. So we're all made up.
Brilliant. Anything else you want to add to that, like, or
I mean, I
I
think.
think. Go on.
Oh, go.
No, you go.
I think it was weird because we had like people coming up to us like after the show and stuff and like asking for pictures and stuff, and that was weird to me because I'd like never had anything like that. It's just crazy. And we start to see like people who like know some of the songs, know some of the lyrics, even to stuff we haven't released, and it's just like it's just mad. I think it's a great opportunity, and it was really, really fun.
Yeah, same with the set list as well. People were asking for the set lists, and that was like it's so mental. Yeah.
love that. Absolutely love that, boys. Power Liverpool, power Merseyside, literally an additive of the sound of the river that makes up the Mersey beat, the Merseyside music industry. Talking about industry, how did you even like end up getting the gig? Obviously, I like again kind of not going back on myself, like, but like Sound City, like you've got to be good. You've got to be a decent band. Obviously, you're an amazing band, but you've got to be decent to get on. Kind of, how was that process of obviously people in the industry in the kind of local scene coming to you and being like, we'd like you to play at our festival?
Yeah. So the way we went about it was, so for each stage, the sponsors, or for most of the stages, the sponsors. So it kind of got in contact with one of them, and then we're like, if you need a band to play any events or anything, then feel free to contact us.
So
So we
you
get an
went to
email
them?
off them saying, yeah. So we contacted them, or the sponsors, and we're like, who SE was our sponsor, or they were the sponsor for Sound City. We played as part of their sponsorship thing, if that makes sense. Contacted Graham, who works there. I think he's the head of campus or something, and said, look, if you need a band to play, contact us, get in touch. So that's what they did. They got in touch with us and said, I got a random call off him one day and said, yeah, look at this poster. It's not, you're on it, and we're like, wow, mental. So we got it through that, and we had the option of playing on the Saturday or the Sunday. We ended up choosing the Sunday, so that
Any particular
literally was
reason,
it.
or
And we also, sorry.
any particular reason that you did it on the Sunday? Do you reckon the days have a bit of an impact?
But schedule and really
Yes and no. I think. Well, sorry.
align more with the schedule as well, didn't it? Let us get more.
Yeah, it just aligned with everything. Yeah, rehearsals and everything we had going on. It meant we could rehearse on the Saturday before as well. Just more preparation time and stuff. And we also got asked by Zelda Audio from Zanzibar about playing at the Zanzi's part of Sound City, I think it was. So we had that option as well, but we'd already said yes to the EBGB's one, so we went with that. But they're happy with how it went, so that was the way we got it. It's all about the contacts.
I'm gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
that's like, I guess as a local band, as an upcoming band in the industry, it's so hard to kind of get your foot in the door. But I guess a lot of people are just kind of, sorry, what's the word? I guess a lot of people are maybe reluctant to have the confidence to go to these people and be like, we want to play. And with using that hard work and actually having the guts, the balls to go over and be like, yeah, we want to play this, we want to play that, and it's getting you somewhere. I mean, personally, for me, I think that's the best way to do it. But yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
that's a lot to be admired of, especially for obviously if there's anybody watching who is an upcoming musician.
You've got to be dead. Like you've just got to like almost just like corner them sometimes. I mean, it's how we got on Thingo, wasn't it, on BBC? It's like we obviously we were at the forum with you, Paul, as well, weren't we?
Yeah,
And
you know that.
like me and Tom just went up to him and like I was like, "Here's our card, take it." Do you know what I mean? It's like you've proper
Yeah.
just got on it.
I've got about
I
a
like that.
thousand. I've got about 1,000 Paul Connor music cards there. You know, that just I
That's
used
the
to
way to
hand
do
them
it.
out. Well,
You
that's it.
were.
When I was like 15, 16, I used to go around. I'd be in like side door or something like that, or it used to be called the Only Fools Bar, and I'd just hand them out to every single person. I'd just be like, take me card, take me card, take me card, thinking
It's
nothing of it.
yeah.
Like, but then I kind of, I don't know. I'm just trying to bring my own experience into it. You know what I mean? I
Oh,
mean,
Yeah, it worked, and it's like in reality, most people are going to go, "Oh yeah, go on, I'll take your card," and then they won't intentionally go and look at it. But you've already sort of, like, I guess you'd call it planting the seed, where they go and wash their trousers in a day's time, whatever, and they you check your pockets and whatever, find the card, and they're like, "Oh, I forgot about that," and they'll go and check it out, and I think
you
another it
waterproof though.
makes you stand out because a lot of people are scared of having someone say no, if that makes sense, to
Yeah.
playing
Oh
your
yeah.
stuff or letting
Massively.
you on
Yeah.
this gig. But that's the worst thing that's going to happen. All they're going to do is say, we're not looking for anyone right now, or we're not. This isn't what we're kind of looking for. And if they say that, then fair enough. But another thing is, like, if they email you back and say, look, it's not what we're looking for, but thanks for getting in contact, then you've then got their email to contact them in the future. So you're getting these little contacts every now and again. Same with Dave Monks. Like, now we've got his email, so we can directly contact him and say we've uploaded a track to BBC Introducing, instead of hoping that someone at BBC sees it. It's just like the little things that make you have the
Yeah.
edge. And I think definitely not something to be scared of, because at the end of the day, it's the way of the world, isn't it? Getting yourself out there.
Preach to that, honestly. Like, I couldn't agree with you. I just want to add anything else to that.
I think that sums it up perfectly, to be fair.
No, it does, to be fair, it really does. I mean, like it's those type of forums that you want to get into. I guess for upcoming musicians, it's just kind of I think personally with the industry, I think there's, as I say, Merseyside is just such a kind of, it's such a bountiful kind of county within England. Obviously, you've got the big shadow of the Beatles looming over people, and it's kind of, and it's very diverse now. But I would have called it's got its foundations in rock and roll and a bit of indie and stuff like that. But it's just like it's so hard to kind of stand out. I don't know whether it's the same for yous or, but I mean, I use a very kind of
I think
particular
it's
anyway.
it's one of them. Sorry, go on.
No, go for it. I'm
Yeah, I'd
saying nothing.
say it's like, it's weird with us because we. Sorry, I cut you off there. I didn't mean to. You stopped
That's
speaking on my
fine.
screen, so
Don't
I was
worry
like,
about it,
I
lads.
kind of stopped. It kind of, with us, we're like, I'd say in Liverpool especially, what we've noticed, and I'm sure you'd agree, lads, is there's kind of a few little sections where the main sort of genres are. So you have like the kind of singer-songwriter people who go around the pub scene, the circuit, and then you have, I guess you'd call it like indie, or a lot of people are calling it Scouse indie now, because it kind of using the
Yeah,
Scouse
that's
accent
such,
within
I
it as
love
part of
that
the singing
term.
style. Yeah, Scouse indie, that's obviously absolutely huge in Liverpool at the minute.
Jamie Webster,
And
Quayside,
yeah,
just a
Quayside,
few, Rainmaker,
Rainmaker, East Exchange, all those kind of
Kairos.
people. Yeah, like all of them. And I'd say also the hard rock / kind of hair metal scene with, like, White Lightning, Samora, Wild Affair, those kind of bands. They all have their own main kind of lane where they stay. But I think for a lot of alt rock bands and stuff, and also a lot of heavier bands like One More Day, Witch Eater, people like that, they also have their own sort of heavier scene. And for us, we kind of fit in between a lot of them because we're heavy, but we're really accessible, because we're not too heavy, and then we're not light enough to be in the indie scene, and then obviously we're not in the singer-songwriter scene. So it's kind of finding a lane to fit in and crossing over them. But I definitely think there is room for an alt rock scene / more rock orientated scene, grunge scene, whatever you want to call it.
Well,
Because it's something we're missing, and I think there's definitely a lane which is being built for that. in Liverpool.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, like my main concern when we started this band was like, oh, I don't know how people are going to take to our music because a lot of it's like really wacky. And I think actually,
Wacky.
yeah, wacky. I'd say it's
Wacky.
just some of it's like just really weird. But I think the thing that I found is that if you're being like genuine, in your band and in your music, then people will like it whatever you're making because they can tell that it's really yours and it's really personal. So I think that's another thing with like bands and stuff. It's important to be like true to yourself in a way.
Oh yeah, preach,
Yeah,
Mason.
100%.
To be honest, you've said it all really. Yeah, it's about it really.
No, really, honestly, and I mean, no, honestly, like same here. Like you have done well to get where you are, but you really, really deserve it. I would say I'm gonna cut it off there very quickly, because whoever's listening to this podcast, or whoever's watching it knows that it's on Zoom. Whoever isn't watching and just listening to it, yeah, Zoom is a pain in the ass, and I refuse to pay the actual membership. So, yeah, we will be back very, very shortly. Hopefully, this will be like the little space where we get ads and I actually get paid for this shit. But yeah, thank you very much. It'll only be like 2 seconds for you, but be about 10 minutes for us. So please don't go anywhere. Right, we're back because Zoom's shite, and as I say, I refuse to pay that freaking Workplace Pro. But still here with Bliss. Still got another 40. No, I'm messing. Still got a bit of time to go. Yeah. So what were we talking about? We were talking about just about the local industry and how kind of like obviously you getting into Sound City and just use Grafton as a band yourself trying to get gigs and how good you actually are at it. And obviously you're reaping the benefits, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. Like this scouts is freaking reply. Yeah. But yeah, I guess my next question is, and this can be interpreted in whatever way you want. What are your thoughts on the general Merseyside music industry itself? It could be used personally as a musician, it could be used as a whole band, previous bands, Lipper orientated, the people, the managers, but you're kind of like, does it suit the likes of yous and what yous do?
I
Just
think sort of touched. Sorry to cut you off there.
no, it's fine. Just like any
Tom sort of touched on this.
particular thoughts, I guess.
Yeah. I think Tom sort of touched on this before, where he was like, it's got like its sort of avenues and lanes, and it's got like it's like the hard rock, hair metal stuff, and like the singer songwriter stuff. And I think, wait, sorry lads, my mind just gone fully blank. Do you mind saying that again for us? I've just had like a
No, it's fine.
blank
Totally
there as soon
fine.
as I started speaking.
Charlie's just went AWOL.
Yeah.
He's offered his job interview, so big
Yeah,
massive
he's gone.
good luck for Charlie Anderson. Thank you very much, lads. Yeah. No, sorry. See, I'm still getting used to it, lads. No, just basically just your general thought of the industry. So it could be across any field, individual musician, as a band, particular people, particular kind of atmosphere, vibe, whether it suits you or not. What are your general kind of ideas? Is it the right place? Is Merseyside's boss?
It's obviously like it sort of comes with the city. There's loads of opportunities and loads of venues and stuff like that. I guarantee it, if you go to like the West Midlands or something like that, it wouldn't be this. It would be a lot harder than this to sort of like get gigs and get like consistent. Because I know in Bliss we're gigging quite consistently now. But like obviously there's all sorts of promoters and stuff like that, and then obviously you've got like Seal Street absolutely rammed with venues. And it's just, if anything, yeah, it is the perfect place to be, even if
Seal
like
Street, just to cut you off there very quickly, sorry. I feel as if Seal Street is kind of the new Matthew Street in that regard. I feel like
Definitely.
Seal Street is so open to original musicians, where as I feel like Matthew Street with the just general bars on Matthew Street now, it's very kind of like obviously with Bar the Cavern, it's very kind of you get a lot of cover artists down there. I feel
Yeah,
like there's more originality and more kind of more originality, more
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Well, okay, the only place I'm aware of on Matthew Street really that does like band stuff. Obviously, you've got the Cavern Club, but you've got to be quite established to play there, haven't you? You don't just get an offer from the Cavern Club for nothing. And the Cavern Pub in it, they've got the Monday Club
Yeah,
with like the three
big up
originals.
Ian Prowse.
That's heavy to be fair. That's boss. But again, as you say, it's Seal Street now, isn't it? That's sort of the place to be.
It's the
But
change in landscapes. You've got Seal Street, you've got Slater Street, you've got Bowl Street. I feel like if you're a musician nowadays, it's these kind of that's where you want to hone in on. I'd say instead of Matthew Street, whether that's if anyone listening outside of Liverpool, whether that's con bit of controversy there, I don't know, but
I think there's also, as well as Seal Street, which is great because you obviously have it's as in Seal Street or just off Seal Street, you have like Spanish Caravan, which was the Sound City stage. You've got Jacaranda, Zanzibar, places like that. EBGBs are all near there, and it's like there's also other places. We've got a gig this weekend coming up at Round the Corner. Never been there, but I've heard it's a good venue. You've got Outpost and Kaz Stock Rooms as well. Apparently they're all good. We've got some gigs coming up in those as well. So I think Seal Street just outside, and obviously elsewhere in town as well is good as well. But
Bolton,
yeah,
innit?
mainly the central point is definitely around Seal Street.
yeah, Zepho. I mean, we had the closure of such an iconic venue as well on especially on Bowl Street, Jimmy's.
Yeah,
They've still got a venue in Manchester, but that sadly had to close on Merseyside. Like for I don't exactly know the particular reason as to why they closed, but I mean, in a bustling city, that's never a good sign. But
It's COVID,
I
wasn't it?
mean, yeah, I think it might have been COVID related, to be fair.
yeah.
But
I think like I think grassroots venues is, I guess that's what you call them. They're so important because there are bigger venues in Liverpool like Grand Central and like your O2 academies and stuff like that, and obviously the arena. But like it's so important to show support to these venues, whether you go in and buy a drink or you go to pay to see a band, because at the end of the day, that's what's keeping local music life alive, the local music scene alive, because without them, people like us couldn't get gigs and start to make a name for ourselves. And even bigger artists now, which are doing like the arena, for example, like Red Rum Club, I'm guaranteed they would have gone around the route and stuff like that and done all the
obsessed with Red Rum Club.
smaller. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you are. So
I'm
like
trying
all
to
the-
get Fran Doran on this. Fran, if you're listening, mate, please. I would give an arm and a leg to have you on, lads. Currently smashing it in Chicago. Sorry, go on.
That's it.
Go on.
No,
Go on,
it's
lads.
just saying, it's just really important for the smaller venues because that's how bands start. Every band's got to start somewhere. Jacaranda downstairs, like the little basement venues, I think it's 60 to 100 people it's advertised at, something around that. Stuff like that, it's hard to fill that when you're starting off, but it's not impossible if you get some good support bands or a good headliner and you're supporting. It's so important because it's just about getting your name out there, and that's like literally the perfect place to do it. And then you can build up to different venues around for like touring and stuff. But when you go elsewhere, your audience isn't going to be as big as where your main focus is. Like our main focus is Liverpool. If we go to Manchester, we won't have as big of an audience. So even then, grassroots will be massively important. So you could play a big venue in your main city and a smaller grassroots venue outside your city, and it's like it's what keeps it alive, really.
Yeah, definitely. Particular points as well. So I had Carrick Moran on last week, and obviously they run Event 471, which is a Wirral-based company, and a lot of their thing is like bringing the music that like obviously all these brilliant venues, all these brilliant like streets with the venues are all kind of based in Liverpool city centre, not far from Lime Street, not far from kind of Upper Duke Street, those type of ways. But obviously they're bringing it to the Whittle. I don't know what your opinions are on obviously Future Yard and Morris Chambers and stuff like that. Whether you've ever done any gigs down there. I have personally, like, and I think it's really good. And I think Event 471. One thing as well that he did say is, Kaz said there was a lot of lack of sizable venues in terms of like it goes from small to very big very quickly. I don't know what your opinions are on that, and just the general kind of Whittle music industry as well.
Yeah, I think that's like a really big point actually. And in regards to, you know, the Wirral and stuff and expanding out there, I've not personally had any gigs there. We've obviously got a Future Yard gig coming up soon, but I think it's absolutely brilliant. Like obviously you're going to want to expand the venues and expand your reach, I guess. And it's always great getting out there and getting a wide launch is brilliant. So I think in regards to that, it's great what they're doing. In terms of like the venue sizes, smaller to big, I would say I do agree with you on that. There is a very much a jump. So we've never even played the Jacaranda, for example. We've got a Jack gig coming up, but we've never played that. And that's a 60 cap venue, and we've played Zanzibar, which is correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's about 250 if it's full. And it's like going from 60 to 250 to fill a room is a massive jump, and there's no kind of that I know of a really safe middle ground where you can kind of I guess experiment to see if you can get that extra 20 people in, or to get the extra 50 people in, or whatever it is. It's kind of like a big jump between them. So I think that is something we need to work on and get smaller so the risk is less when expanding. But at the same time, I guess it puts more of a drive out there to fill the room, and it makes some artists work harder. I know it makes us work a lot harder, thinking, we really want to be able to fill Zanzibar or whatever it is. So I think it's a positive and a negative, but that's I don't think it's the fault of the industry in Liverpool. I think that's just how they make money. You either have to be small to cut overhead costs, I guess, or you've got to be bigger so you have more overhead costs, but you can have a bigger bar, you can get more people in the room to buy the drinks and buy tickets, whatever else. So I think there's definitely a financial thing there, but like I said, there's no fault of the music industry. That's just how it works, I think. So
touching up on like filling up venues and stuff as well. It's like it's all like again, it's all down to social media now as well. And it's like I don't know many musicians who got into music to sit on Instagram and post like 15 posts a day. It's like it's a pain in the backside. It's like
Such a different world.
Like, it is still about the music to a big extent, but it is also about your image and how you come across to people on like Instagram and stuff like that. Like, it's an absolute pain in the backside because there's plenty of bands that I've seen live in Liverpool. One of them being, one of the bands is Bones. I know Tom, you have done a gig with them before.
yeah,
And
yeah.
And this was before they even posted anything on their Instagram. I was like, bloody hell, he's a boss. Check out their Instagram. Literally nothing. And it's like, how do you fill places up if you're not active on, like, even if your music's fantastic, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying
That's
to say?
it, yeah.
I've seen that's go on.
It's not about the music anymore. It's about how often you can post on Instagram and if your
Yeah.
content.
I really agree with that, to be fair. I mean, without kind of naming names, and this isn't even just in Liverpool minds, but I've seen a lot of shit musicians do really well on social media. And it's like, it's just, although they put the work in, they are shit. They are nowhere near the kind of, obviously, bliss, you know what I mean? They're nowhere near the kind of standards that radio worthy, because they've got this audience on social media. Obviously, they gain a particular audience, and then they bake them up like. But I mean, that's not me disrespecting bands, by the way. I just mean,
Yeah, no, of
hey,
course.
come on.
I think that's why the phrase kind of like
who's that fella, the recorder fella? Sit on my recorder. I know he's not a proper musician, but
oh right,
a million views there, and it's like it's all about algorithms, isn't it? I feel like the audience in that sense is just so it's just so you can't predict it. It's so unpredictable, and
yeah,
I guess for you as well, and for any other band, local or not, it's hard and it's a massive pain in the
Yeah.
arse. Like,
I think there's definitely like this, like the phrase, I don't know if you guys have heard that, I've heard it thrown around quite a bit, but the phrase of like TikTok band, you know, you're either a real band or you're a TikTok band kind of thing. I've heard a few people say that thing. And I don't necessarily agree that you're either a real band or you're a TikTok band, you know. I think they go hand in hand. And do you either want your main image to be in person and doing gigs, or do you want it to be online? And that's totally up to you. And you've kind of got to do a bit of both to grow your audience. And yeah, it's annoying, but it's how it is. And that's the way it is. And that's why we did Breakdown, for example, even though it's not necessarily the most amazing thing in the world. And we've definitely done better. We've obviously have better produced things and whatever else, but it's something for people to go home and excuse the voice crack there, people to go home and listen to. So like we'll play a gig and they'll go, "Are you on Spotify or anything?" And you can tell them your Spotify and they have something to listen to and put on the playlist or whatever else. So I think they do go hand in hand. Having stuff for people to go home and look at and listen to is dead important.
Yeah, and dead quick on like the TikTok being labeled as a TikTok band and that, it's so hard as well to get that blend because if you lean too fully into the social media stuff, it's like, oh, you're just like a cringy TikTok band who does funny videos, and if you lean too much into the professionalism, you're not getting that
exposure.
Yeah, so it's like, wait, what you do? It's like it's so confusing because like there's no one sitting there being like, do this and like you post this type of content. It's so like up for debate. It's like just sit there and do the blooming guest the drummer stuff, or is it just
but
like
then
you
that's
post?
so watered down these days, though, isn't it? I feel like everyone does that. Everyone does guest a drummer. Everyone does guest a guitarist, or it's so hard to kind of like find that niche. Sam Roberts, when I interviewed him as well, he said you've got to have that kind of difference about you. I feel like you have very much personally, because obviously like the type of genre you are. And would you say you've got the support there, especially in Liverpool and stuff like that?
Yeah. I think there's a few bands as well that do it really well. Like the Crawlers have a perfect blend. I personally think, they're not posting loads of rubbish that you don't really want to see, but they're just trying to get content out. I assume it all has a plan because it all links into the music in the end. But it's engaging, and like that's the type of content that they need, and that's why they're doing so well at the minute, because it's the type of stuff. And there's a band called Stray from the Path, who Craig Reynolds, their drummer, does loads of vlogs and stuff on tour. And I think it doesn't necessarily have to be the band. If you want to all individually, I guess, market yourself, I guess you'd call it, kind of creating this persona or whatever online, then that's another way of doing it. Like I said, Craig does it, and I watch his videos all the time and found his music through that. So it just depends how you go about it, but there's definitely a balance to be found.
Because it's like after a certain point, if you lean so into the social media thing and having a personality, I've seen bands on TikTok who sort of started all that like guest the drummer stuff and like all that like the band interaction and like stuff like that, and it's like it goes full circle almost, because in their attempt to sort of have a personality and be relatable, it's like they just become this like soulless like thing that just posts like random garbage that you just don't want to see. Do you know what I mean? Obviously I wouldn't name any bands. The more like they've got like quite a lot of
Name and
followers.
shame.
Yeah,
Don't
but
actually.
like it's like a full circle. It gets to a certain point where it's just like it's so overdone. It's just like it's not
necessarily a negative thing though. I think it's like some people just choose to do that if they get obsessed with the numbers kind of thing. You either want to get a massive audience that doesn't necessarily interact with everything, or you want to get a smaller audience who does interact with everything, which is kind of what we'd prefer. Obviously, the bigger audience that reacts with everything would be great, but that's just not how it is. So,
yeah.
What have you found? Sorry, Mason.
At that point, you're just like TikTok famous, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Which obviously the original reason is for the music, isn't it?
What have you found help as a band in terms of that kind of presence?
Photos, gig photos, videos. We haven't really done much of the whole like guess the drummer thing. It's not. We probably are going to start leaning into the more social media kind of stuff soon. but we're not going to do posts for the sake of posting. At the minute, all we've done is, like I said, gig photos, collages, and live videos, and I think that people get a memory of the video, or they go, oh, you know, these look really cool. Let's go have a look at them. Let's go watch them live. I'd like to see
I
something like
mean,
that.
a reincarnation of freaking Kurt Cobain over here, like leading the band.
Everyone says that.
That is the niche. That is the niche of Bliss. Your front man is like the Scouse Kurt Cobain. That I've cracked it.
Cobain.
Honestly,
You've cracked
I've
it.
cracked the niche for you.
Scouse Kurt Cobain.
Probably.
We're just
I've
becoming a
heard that one
band.
before, have you? But
I actually
yeah.
haven't, you know. I've heard the Kurt Cobain thing, not Scouse Kurt Cobain.
Scouse Kurt Cobain. That is it, mate. But anyways, I would love to talk to you all night about this type of stuff, and you've come across with some really good points and some really good opinions that a lot of people, especially myself, can take into progressing within the industry. It's probably time to wrap up this episode, but just before we go, I want to see if I can get any cheeky exclusive news off you for the next upcoming months. We've got summer on the horizon. What's going on?
There's
Look at him,
definitely
his
stuff coming.
freaking face.
There's definitely stuff coming. We've got everyone keep their eyes and ears open, because we've got definitely more gigs. I can tell you that. Definitely got a lot more gigs. Not to go into specifics because they'll be announced soon, but a lot more music is on the way. You know, we've got a lot of original songs coming.
I want a little name drop, or I want a little like.
Go on. Okay, so we are thinking of doing more singles. Definitely, they're coming, and we're thinking of doing an EP. We've got all the songs, just about recording them. So recording time is being booked. We're getting people to get involved with that, and yeah, definitely keep your eyes and ears out open, because more music is coming soon, sooner than you think. Actually,
Come on.
there will be a new single for the summer.
Aye. Unless time on to record Kerosene anyway, bloody hell.
Yeah, that's
Lads,
well, yeah, new music.
it's been an absolute pleasure. This has been Sound of the River podcast, episode 3. Thank you very much for whoever's tuned in. It's really, really helping us. If you would like to follow and share this account, Sound of the River _pod, on any social media platforms, or I forgot you that.
You can find us at BlissBand22 on Instagram. We're Bliss on Spotify and everything else. So BL!S, all capitals. Yeah, find us everywhere. Our link tree's on our Instagram bio if you can't find anything. And yeah, that's it.
Got a new single out called Kerosene. Get on it, please.
Yeah, get on it. Yeah, stream up.
Come at the boys. Anyways, thank you very much. This has been another episode of Sound of the River. As I say, thank you very, very, very much for joining in. Keep joining in on the conversations. Keep it going. Keep talking. Up the Merseyside industry.
Thanks for having us.
See you in a little bit.
Hopefully we can have another chat when a new single comes out.
Oh, aye. In a bit.